Hey everybody, this is Brant with Nutrition First Coaching, and this is going to be a video to accompany a handout I have for traveling. Of course, this applies to the holidays that are upon us, but this also applies to business trips, vacations, weekend courses, things that are going to get you out of the house, get you traveling. Hopefully, we're doing that again, and try to keep you as healthy as possible and on your plan when you're not at home with all the conveniences and all the kind of structure that we're used to. So, the first thing I would say, especially when we're trying to maintain those healthy habits, is your mindset. Now, if you're on the very far end of being very strict and you're counting macros and you're very precise about everything you're doing, you may not be able to do that when you travel. And that's where, wherever you're at, I want you to dial it back to think about kind of some more of the basic things that are going on at this point. Let's stick to our huge principles we're always looking at, and that's calorie budget and protein. And if you're getting your protein, even if you're, guesstimating or using the hand fist palm method for some of the proteins you're trying to get and some of the quantity of your carbs and kind of knowing how much you're getting in terms of overall calories, that's better than just winging it and just eating whatever. So dial back the mindset to think, okay, I'm going to do well. This isn't going to be perfect. A lot of times, especially if it's vacations or a work trip where you're really busy, this is survival mode. This is maintenance time. You're just going to do your best, and your best is going to be fine. So the other part of this is timing and frequency. And I always like to take this opportunity when you're traveling, especially on travel days, to really kind of parcel out your calories for the day, sticking with more protein when you have those calories and some of the slower digesting carbohydrates, typically any kind of vegetables or fruit you can take along that'll help with the protein and slowing the digestion, but then also just like spacing all that stuff out. So if we're looking at it from, you got to be on a flight super early. Maybe you get up and you just have like a bulletproof type of coffee or a smart coffee. And this is really just some fat, maybe a little bit of protein and some caffeine with your coffee. And maybe you don't eat, you fast through the morning. And then you have, a good protein snack that we'll talk about a little bit. And then we'll be on the handout. I'll give you all kinds of ideas and links to look up stuff, and then you spread that out until you finally eat a decent meal wherever you get to at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. This is going to keep you alert, awake. It's going to keep your body, minimally stressed through the day and allow you, when you get to somewhere where you have some better options, to have some better options to eat, hopefully whatever destination you're getting to. So that's what I talk about when I'm thinking like timing and just like frequency of what you're eating. Don't feel like you have to eat 3 meals a day. Don't feel like you have to get 3 meals, a snack, a shake, all that in when you're traveling. Maybe you just dial back how frequently you're eating, because you can still always control the quantity you're eating, but maybe not always control the quality of the foods that you're eating, especially if you're traveling throughout the entire day and where you're going to have to eat at. All right, number 2, I always like to put this as pack your identity. And these are your kind of non-negotiable things that you're going to do no matter where you're at. This is probably basic major principles are hydration. You're always going to try to stay hydrated. You're going to have your water bottle with you. You're going to know how to fill that up, where you can get hydration from. This is going to be hitting your protein on a daily basis. This should be kind of the no-brainer side of it. Some of the things you can take with you, some different jerkies, bars, protein powders. Some of those things are going to make you, make it a lot more simple to hit your protein on that daily basis. Movement, that's one of your non-negotiables. It should be, whether that's going for walks, whether that's 10-minute EMOM of something or an AMRAP, just moving, just getting your body moving, keeping your body moving. And that could be all the way up to going to a CrossFit class or a gym or something, wherever you're at. Sleep. Try not to negotiate this one too much, no matter where you are, because we know a bad night's sleep leads to a cascade of all kinds of things in terms of choices we make, in terms of digestion, our response to blood sugar and insulin. So try to really make sure you get in a good amount of sleep, or even naps if you need to do that. And then in general, like, who are you? Like, who do you want to be? Who I am the type of person who, that's what I always like to do, is fill that blank in. I am the type of person who eats healthy no matter where they're at, who stays hydrated, who moves every day, who's committed to a training program, so that's why they're doing some of these things, who doesn't eat these crappy foods, put a list of those things you don't eat, ever or on a regular basis when you travel, just to fill in like who you are and packing your identity. And what I mean by that as well is, what are the things you're going to take with you? And on the handout, there's a huge list of stuff, but, get your protein sources, jerkies, there's good protein bars I have on there. I always take protein powders with me. If I have some non-negotiable supplements, maybe it's creatine, some fish oil, vitamin D, the things that I always take on a daily basis, I'll just take a little pill container with every day on it, put them all in there. That way it's sealed, ready to go. I know if I took them that day, because it's gone for that day, that works great. But what are those non-negotiable things? Who are you? Pack your identity and take it with you. Of course, number 3, we're always going to come back to this, and that is have some kind of plan for your day. Sit down, take a little time before you leave, whether it's a weekend trip or a 10-day vacation. Look at the days, figure out what days you're actually going to be traveling, what days you might have some different things going on, like different activities. Maybe there's some kind of special event going on that day. What else can be going on those days to where you can kind of figure out how you're going to conquer your nutrition, do all the things that are non-negotiables for you, and still have a great time on your trip, because you're just living a lifestyle at this point, and this is who you are. You're not just trying to like always eat in a deficit and always stay completely dialed in because you're on vacation, so you're going to have some fun. But these are what I talk about when I say, like, what are the other things going on? Plan your days out. And this could be as simple as, I know I'm going to get to this place on Sunday. I've already pre-ordered some groceries. I'll pick those up. We're going to be at an Airbnb. I'll have a place to keep stuff. I'll have a place where I can prep some things. I'm taking my protein powder. I'm taking some jerky. I'm taking some fuel for fire and some good baby food snacks, or some of the other things on the list. This is going to kind of fill in some of those blanks of what you need and what you can do when you're there. And this will, start to really complete your nutrition profile when you're there. And then you can fill in with family dinners or events or going out and some of those things, and some of the other, kind of strategies we've talked about in the past of making sure you're in your calorie budget and how you're kind of laying out your calories through the day and how you're enjoying these different meals, what your plate looks like, and so forth. All right, last one. Just to reinforce that mindset, I would say just do your best. Know why you're traveling, what the importance of the trip is. If it's a vacation and you're going to some cool destination and you want to try a lot of different foods, give yourself that freedom. Enjoy and control what you can control, which is the quantity of what you're eating, and enjoy the foods you're having. Keep the drinks limited depending on what you're doing. If it's a work trip and it's going to be super stressful and you're going to be doing a ton of stuff for your work and probably minimal downtime, if any, then what you can pack with you and what you can take with you, so you always have those portable necessary things between protein, probably some veggies or fruits or whatever you can take with you. So just know why you're traveling and what you're trying to do when you're executing that. These are just some good tips. This video will come with accompanying kind of a handout with different tips and different things for you to think about, but also a lot of links of different things you can look up, and that'll give you some ideas with protein powders and bars and different carbohydrate sources and healthy things like that you can pack and take with you. All right, well, have a safe trip, enjoy it, and I'll see you when you get back.